I'd like to use this icon to say a little bit about baptism, and that is what I did last time we had a baptism, and I'm going to do it again when we have a baptism on the 3rd of September. It's a fairly amazing picture, this painting of Rublev's Trinity, it's called, painted in 1410. Quite a long time ago. And it's been the subject of not only amazing debate, but incredible spiritual depth for people over centuries. It's a depiction, you can see, of the three angels who visited Abraham and Sarah at Mamre. And you can reference that, this tree of Mamre in the Old Testament, Genesis chapter 18. And these three angels came to visit Abraham and Sarah, and there they had particular conversation. But it's also in the masterfulness of Rublev a depiction of the Holy Trinity. And so it's the three persons of God, Jesus at the head there in the middle, blessing the cup with wine in it on the altar, on the communion table. And they, the Father and the Son and the Spirit, inviting us into their relationship. So you can spend hours and hours with this painting, and I want to point out just two or three things about it and see how they work together with baptism. What happens in baptism is our response to their invitation, to God's invitation, and what they do is invite us into their relationship. You can see from that painting that the distance between those figures is perfect. It's on the front in black and white of your Pew Bulletin as well, and if you look at it afterwards in color on the internet, then you will see a number of things about it. Perfect spacing between them. You'll also see the way they looking at each other and yet looking down from each other. And the perfectness of that relationship is that they invite us into. In baptism, all we can do is respond to the invitation of God for us to be part of their presence. The important thing is around that table, in the space right in front, you can see there's a place. And tradition believes that Rublev wanted people to see that there's a place at the table for you, waiting to be filled. And I suppose in terms of baptism, this means that it's your response to God as parents to be able to bring these children into that relationship and to bring these children to the table, to God's table. But it's also the example that you as parents can set for these children when they watch how you come to the table, how you come and take your place there, because children will only learn through what their parents teach them. As you respond to God and take your space at the table, so they get into the habit of responding and taking their place at the table. And so the whole painting is really a call to be fed at God's table. And it's an invitation to the gathering of the community, as it were, around God's table, and the community epitomized by the Trinity themselves, because there is perfect community between them, perfect relationship between them, and that's the calling that we have, to imperfect community among ourselves, and still, though, as God's people around God's table, to be fed regularly. And there's a reminder from Jesus in the central place over there that there's a cost, and the cost of being fed is really Him and what He does for us. So it's the cost of His sacrifice. And in the chalice, in the cup on the table, is His blood. And that's His feeding and His cleansing for us. The cost of Him feeding us is free. He gives it, and He waits for us to respond. And then we're filled at God's table to be able to carry His life and goodness to other people. There's a very interesting shape. I mean, there's many shapes in this picture, but there's a very interesting shape of a cup, if you see over there, all the way down and like that. And there's the top of the cup, the chalice, over there, between those three figures. And as people have analyzed this painting over the years, so they have said, that is the cup by which we are filled, but it is also the cup when the community gather together that they take out into the world. So we as community are filled at God's table, and we carry that life and we carry that goodness into the world so that others also can be filled with God's life and goodness. So being baptized into Christ means a call to serve God and to serve one another and to serve the world. And if you look at the Pew Bulletin, there's a little reference in there to the website where you'll see some teaching on that balance, our call to worship, our call to be community, and our call to serve the world. And all of those are aspects of our service to God. But first and foremost, and lastly, it is God's invitation. Will you come and be part of us? And we bring these children to be part of God.